Do this once, just once, and they'll never come back. No more guilt, no more explaining, no more rehearsing what you'll say next time they cross the line, because there won't be a next time. You don't need revenge, you don't need closure, you need clarity, and the will to act without noise, without warning, without ceremony. Toxic people thrive on your confusion, your hope, your hesitation. But the moment you see them for what they are, and walk without a word, the game ends. This is your final move, and once you make it, they won't chase you, they won't touch you, they won't even know how to reach you anymore. Let's show you how. And once you learn it, you'll never be the same again. Number 1. The power of silent certainty. Epictetus said, "If someone gets you angry, know that your mind is also to blame." He wasn't simply telling you how to manipulate people, he was giving you a weapon. The worst thing you can do to a poisonous person is not talk to them. You don't beat them by getting angry or arguing with them. You beat them by taking away the thing that makes them strong, your emotional availability. Not talking to someone is not the same as being sure. It's deeper. You know for sure that you don't owe them access to your mind, time, or feelings anymore. You don't move because you're passive. You stay stationary because you're grounded. You don't need them to understand you. Therefore, you don't explain yourself. You don't explain your choices because you don't need their approval anymore. Toxic people are really good at making unseen strings, making you feel bad about what they've done for you in the past, bringing up memories of how you used to be, changing the blame so gently that you start to doubt your own memories. But as you establish silent certainty, those strings break. Every time they poke you, hoping for the usual defensive or apologetic response, and you don't give them one, they start to fear. You become impossible to read. And that's scary for someone who needs things to be predictable to control you. Your tranquility is more than just peace. It's strength. You no longer have access to my mind is the clearest message you can give without raising your voice. Picture sitting across from someone who uses every old trick, sarcasm, accusations, and emotional blackmail, and getting nothing in return. Don't flinch. Don't smile nervously. No reason. Just still eyes and a calm presence. People are shaken by that kind of stillness. It makes them view themselves without your reactions as a mirror. And most of them won't like what they see. As a leader, Marcus Aurelius showed this drive. He didn't yell or get back at anyone who betrayed him, played politics, or tried to control him. Instead, he just let it go. He wrote, "You always have the choice not to have an opinion. That's not caring. That's being disciplined." That's the power to keep others from getting to your emotional core. They cease trying once they know they can't get rid of you. That's the trick. You do this once and you draw the line within, not with a lot of drama or a big speech. It's just a promise to myself that says from now on, I decide what goes into my mind. This nonsense doesn't count. This isn't about hiding the truth or holding back wrath. It's about picking your fight. It's about not wasting your time on those who use your kindness against you. It's not being quiet because you're scared. It's quiet because you know that your tranquility is more important than any debate. And when you do it perfectly, when your stillness becomes complete, something amazing happens. Poisonous individuals start to stay away from you. Not because you scared them, but your energy can't handle their mayhem anymore. Their games don't work. Their insults don't work. It seems like their existence is pointless. You are now a mountain, and they are only echoes that are lost in the wind. Number 2, emotionless boundaries. Epictetus said, "If someone gets you to act in a certain way, know that your mind is also to blame." He wasn't simply showing you how to manipulate people. He was giving you a weapon. The most dangerous thing you can do to a poisonous person is not talk to them. You can't beat them with fury or debate. You have to take away the thing that makes them strong, your emotional availability. Being sure without saying something is not the same as ignoring someone. It's more than that. It's the strong belief that you don't owe them any more of your time, mind, or feelings. You don't move because you're not passive. You're anchored. You don't explain yourself since you don't need them to comprehend. You don't have to explain your choices because you don't need their approval anymore. People that are toxic are really good at making unseen strings, making you feel bad about things they used to do for you, bringing up memories of how you used to be, blaming someone else in such a way that you start to doubt your own recall. But once you develop silent assurance, those strings break. Every time they poke you, hoping for the usual defensive or apologetic dance, and you don't give them one, they start to fear. You become impossible to read, and that's scary for someone who needs things to be predictable to keep you in line. Your tranquility isn't just a sign of peace, it's also a sign of strength. You no longer have access to my mind is the clearest message you can give without ever raising your voice. Imagine sitting across from someone who uses every old ploy, including sarcasm, accusations, and emotional blackmail, and you don't receive anything back. No flinching, no smile that shows you're nervous. No reason given, just still eyes and a calm presence. People are scared when things are that quiet. It makes them look at themselves without your reactions as a mirror. And most of them won't like what they see. Marcus Aurelius showed this vitality in the way he led. He dealt with betrayal, politics, and manipulation not by becoming angry or getting back at people, but by not letting them affect him. He said, "You always have the choice to not have an opinion. That's not being lazy. That's being disciplined. That means you can keep others from getting to your emotional center. They stop trying once they know they can't shake you. That's the key. You do this once, and then you set the limit for yourself. Not with a big speech or a lot of drama. It's like an inner contract that says, from now on, I decide what goes into my mind. And this nonsense doesn't count. It's not about keeping your rage within or hiding the truth. It's about choosing your battlefield. It's about not wasting your energy on those who use your kindness against you. It's not silence out of fear. It's a quiet tranquility that comes from understanding that your peace is more important than any fight. And when you do it perfectly, when you become completely motionless, something amazing happens. Poisonous individuals start to stay away from you. Not because you scared them, but your energy can't handle their mayhem anymore. Their games don't work. Their insults don't work. It seems pointless to have them around. You have grown into a mountain. And they just sounds that got lost in the wind. Number 3, break the reaction habit. People who are toxic don't want to find answers. They don't want to know what you're thinking. They want to throw you off balance. They poke and prod and tease, not because they're interested, but because they want to see something happen. And every time you respond, whether it's with rage, irritation, or even tears, they win. You are the entertainment. You turn into the puppet. Seneca knew how dangerous it was to react emotionally. He who angers you conquers you wasn't just a smart saying, it was a warning. Every time you hit them, you give them proof. They take what you say, change it, play it back, and use it against you. But when you don't say anything, when your silence becomes too much for them to handle, they have to deal with their own demons. Do the pause. That time, right after they say anything hurtful. That single second when they roll their eyes, make fun of how you sound, or bring up past scars. Don't stand up for yourself. Don't match their level of enthusiasm. Take a breath. Take a step back. Look, this isn't being passive, it's being precise. It's power that you can control, and it takes time to get good at it. Your gut will tell you to say something. You should set the record straight about the deception, explain the confusion, and fight for your side. But keep in mind that poisonous people don't want the truth. They desire chaos. Don't give them yours. It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it, says Epictetus. This is your battlefield, not the outside world, but your own mind. The Stoics taught themselves to keep their minds still even when the world was yelling. You want to reach that level. Not coldness, but might. Being hard to read gives you a quiet power. When people call you names and your face doesn't alter. When they get on your nerves and you don't yell. When they test you and you don't even know you're being tested. People don't like that. It makes them confused. And in the end, it pushes them away. The poisonous mind thinks you're dull, and that's what you want. Toxic people don't want peace. They want disruption that they can control. So don't offer them anything. No anger. No defense. Nothing happened. Let them speak. Let them get angry. Let them spin. But you don't change. You are the calm at the center of the storm. Not because you're not involved, but because you've learned to control yourself. That's what Stoicism looks like in action. That's being free. And here's the fact that no one tells you. When you stop reacting, they will press harder at first. They will get worse. That's how desperate they are. But don't move. Don't say anything. They break right after that, though. Not you. Them. They get their power from how you feel. When you take it away, they are left yelling into nothing. And for someone who feeds off of attention, nothing is worse than being ignored. So keep this in mind the next time they try to get you to talk. Your silence is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of war. Number 4, control the frame. People who are toxic constantly want to be in charge. They talk first, talk quickly, and talk with a lot of emotion to shift the balance of power. But here's the truth. They can only win if you let them. Most people come into interactions without thinking about what they're going to say or do, ready to give up their presence. And that's how the manipulator gets what they want. Not with truth, but with speed. When you control the frame, you walk in as if the room is spinning around you. You're not reacting to their energy, you're setting your own. This isn't about being arrogant. It's about independence. It's about walking into a fight, a confrontation, or even a deceptive trap and staying completely calm. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who had to deal with wars, betrayal, and diseases, observed in Meditations, you have to put your life together one action at a time. And in every conversation, you have to put together your presence word by word and breath by breath. That's how you take charge of the frame. Slow down when you talk, not because you're not sure, but because you mean it. When other people hurry to fill the stillness, you stop. When they yell, you talk more quietly. The poisoned mind doesn't like this change since it takes away their momentum. They're ready to run, but you stay motionless. They lose their beat. They lose their balance. People that are toxic do well in noisy places, in a state of perplexity, at a fast pace. But when you talk slowly, quietly, and directly, it's like turning on the lights at a con. Their tactics don't work in clear. Their manipulation doesn't work in simple terms. You should also be in charge of the physical frame, your stillness, your stance, and your eyes. Don't move about. Don't move. Let them speak. Let them do their thing. You just watch. You decide when to talk. You decide what to talk about. You decide what to ignore. That level of calmness is unique and scary for someone who is used to controlling their emotions. You can stop manipulation by being the one who sets the scene. Do they want to fight? Give stillness. They want drama? Be brief. Do they want you to be defensive? Instead, ask a calm, direct inquiry like, "Why do you think that?" Or "What do you want to get out of this conversation?" That alone changes the balance of power. Having control over the frame doesn't entail being in charge of people. It means not letting someone else control you. It means not playing the emotional game they know how to play. You stop responding. You start to answer. In a planned way. On purpose. With grace. Epictetus stated, "First tell yourself what you want to be, and then do what you have to do." Say this: "I am the calm in the storm. I set the mood. I set the space." Then when you talk to someone, remember that truth. Don't say it out loud. Keep it in your spine. And here's the part that breaks them. Once you take control of the frame, they either change their frequency or leave. You win no matter what. Number 5. Erase the need for closure. People who are toxic are good at open loops. They don't answer your queries, leave your feelings hanging, and keep your relationships half alive, just enough to drive you crazy. They go away without notice, then come back with half-hearted apologies and recollections that don't make sense. And every time, you hope for the missing piece that will ultimately make sense of the story. But that missing piece isn't real. It never happened. They weren't attempting to build closure, they were trying to build control. Every time you don't answer, every time you don't show up, and every time you send a "we need to talk" text and then disappear, it's all part of the same act. One made to make you wait, waiting for an apology. The reason, the clearness. But Stoicism teaches us something very different. You don't need their ending to write your own. Epictetus said it clearly. Don't expect everything to go the way you want it to. The bad individual won't let you go cleanly. The nice ending. The last chat that puts everything together. Because that would mean letting go of their hold on your mind. That would mean letting you go. They take advantage of your yearning for closure. And the more you chase it, the more they hold on to it. You have a psychological leash around your own neck. But once you know this, you can start the most potent act of rebellion, letting go of what you're saying. Let them be curious. Close the door without saying goodbye. Don't let the apologies come. You don't need them to admit it. You don't need them to make your pain real. You don't even need them to know what they did. You just have to choose peace over proof. Seneca said, "We don't have a short time to live, we waste a lot of it." And how much time have you already wasted going over conversations that never finished, writing texts you won't send, and reading silence like it's the Bible? That's enough. The chapter is over, even if they never signed the last page. Most people don't know this, but you have to establish closure inside yourself. Someone doesn't just give it to you, not someone who is taking advantage of your confusion. When you stop needing their version of the tale and trust your own, you offer yourself closure. So stop saying, "What did they do?" and add, "It won't happen again." Stop believing that the last chat will be a big deal. No, it won't. It will happen again. Let go before the show starts again. Leave before the encore. Silence is powerful. There is peace in questions that don't have answers. Your healing isn't delayed by their lack of an apology. It's delayed by the idea that you need one. Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't choose to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed." In other words, don't let them keep you imprisoned in the emotional maze they've made for you. Decide to quit the circle. If you have to, finish the chapter in the middle of a sentence, but do it. You don't have to send them another message, another meeting, one more try to get it. You owe it to yourself to be free. And that starts when you stop waiting for things to end and walk without it. Number 6. Make disrespect uncomfortable. Denying someone access to your emotional warmth gives you a silent type of power. When you respond to disrespect with a quiet withdrawal of energy, not wrath, not revenge, just removal, you make people uncomfortable in the most precise way. It's not that loud. It's not a big deal. But that will always be in your mind. Senators plotted against Marcus Aurelius behind his back, while generals doubted his judgment. But he never let their lack of regard change who he was. He just took back his permission, his presence, his focus. He said the best revenge is to not be like the person who hurt you. That's the idea, to keep your dignity no matter what someone says to you. If you grin through someone being rude to you, make excuses for it, or downplay it, they learn. They find out that their actions don't have any consequences, that your kindness is always there, that you will stay no matter what. And they will do it again. But they can tell if your energy changes right away, as when your face hardens, your answers get shorter, and your warmth vanishes. The comfort they used to feel is gone all of a sudden. They no longer have the mental safety net they used to have. And what do you want instead? Be quiet. Room. Distance. This isn't about playing with people's feelings. It's about being clear about your feelings. You aren't punishing them, you're teaching them. You are saying without saying it, this is where my standard lives. Disrespect does not last here. He who tolerates insult invites injury, Seneca once said. They are the ones who did it initially. The second one, it's your fault. Putting up with disrespect over and over again doesn't make you strong. It just gives you a place where someone else's poison can grow. You don't have to fight with them. You don't have to say it out loud. You are in charge of what behavior you let go on, though. The most important thing is not to explain too much. Don't go on and on about why they hurt you. They wouldn't have done it if they cared. It's not your explanation that they respect. It's your limit. And as soon as you stop being emotionally involved, you hold up a mirror to their actions. Allow them to see it. Let them stay outside in the cold. You don't have to bang on doors. You don't have to block and broadcast. Just don't be available. Become impossible to read. Let your absence say something. The painful truth is that others will treat you the way you teach them to. And when you teach kids that disrespect leads to distance, not drama, you develop a wall of self-respect that no one can break through. Epictetus said, focus all of your attention on what is really your own concern. Their words, their tantrums, and their attitude are not your problem. But what did you say? What about your energy, your presence? That's yours. Take care of it like your peace depends on it, because it does. Don't argue the next time someone is rude. Don't beg, just turn down the heat. Get cold. Be quiet. Go free. That's when they'll know. And that's when they'll get it. This is someone who won't put up with disrespect. Not 2 times. Number 7, the one-time energy audit. At some point in everyone's life, they need to take action. Not later. Not after one more chance. Now. That moment is when you check your energy, and you don't have to spend weeks thinking about it or doing sophisticated emotional math. It needs honesty and a single, firm choice. Imagine the scroll again. One side is lit up with names that make you feel visible, strong, and steadfast. People who make you feel better just by being there. And then, the other side. Names that make your stomach turn. Names that make you nervous every time you call. Names that make you doubt your happiness. Seneca was clear when he advised, hang out with people who are likely to make you better. He knew that your surroundings, especially the people in them, aren't neutral. People either help your fire by giving it oxygen or slowly put it out. We want to think we can't become sick, that we can get over, that we are strong enough to handle those who are hard to cope with. But how long you can put up with bad energy doesn't show how strong you are. It's demonstrated by how soon you know when to leave. The harsh truth is that some people only stay in your life because you haven't shut the door yet. Not because they deserve it. Not because they deserve it. But you leave the door open, expecting they will change, become softer, and grow. Not going to happen. They are who they are. And your hope is holding your peace hostage. Revenge is not the answer. It's taking it away. You don't need to talk for a long time. You don't need to write a goodbye letter. You need one clear action. Just one click of the unfollow button. One text thread will never be read. Not out of hate, but to make things clear. One contact was erased. That one choice can have an impact on the rest of your emotional existence. Why? You get back all they took as soon as you let them go. Not only time, but also trust. Quiet mind. Rest. That low-level stress that has been going on in your head like background noise, out of here. It's not about being with perfect people. It's about being purposeful. The 5 individuals you spend the most time with are the people who make you who you are. If any of those 5 are toxic, dishonest, jealous, or manipulative, it's easy to see that your average goes down. The soul takes on the color of its thoughts, said Marcus Aurelius. But he didn't say it, because we know that the people we spend time with form our thoughts. The people around you are changing your soul every day. What color is it changing to? And here's the last aspect that will make you uncomfortable. Some of the folks who are draining you won't appear like bad guys. They will smile, they'll have good intentions, but if your nerves are tense when you hear their name, believe it. Being nice doesn't always mean someone is good for you. What is this audit? You only have to do it once. You won't be able to stand that darkness again until you feel the lightness that comes with getting rid of the incorrect person. So do it right now. One name, one step, no second guessing, no ceremony, just the choice. What happened? Months or years of energy coming back into your life? You forgot that peace existed. You believed you had lost your momentum. All of this came from one audit that was done once with Stoic accuracy. Number 8, burn the role they cast you in. Toxic individuals are like writers, and you've been living in their play for too long. They give you a screenplay that is full with shame, doubt, and apologies. They want you to hit your targets, to do your part, to stay the same. But what about that role? It's not you. It's a jail that looks like tranquility. Epictetus said, "First know who you are, and then dress accordingly." But poisonous individuals take that away. They don't see you for who you are. They see you as who they need you to be for their own comfort, control, and ego. And you played along because you didn't want to fight and you wanted to connect. You were the one who fixed things, forgave people, explained everything, softened the blow, and took the offense. But here's the big change. Today you burn that script. You don't answer the way they think you will. You don't say it's okay when it isn't. You cease giggling at how mean they are. You quit keeping the peace, which is hurting your spirit. You become dangerous when you cease being the person they know because they don't know where you are. No script. No buttons to press. You're not acting anymore. You're waking up. You don't need to be angry to change. It needs to be separate. You don't have to struggle for recognition or show them they're incorrect. All you have to do is stop being a part of their tale. Get off the stage, write your own lines, change how you see your role. Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't waste any more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one meant right now." You don't have to say that you've changed. You just have to live it. No press release, no talking, only action. And make it sound bad. Let it hurt. Let them look at you in surprise as you calmly refuse, set new limits, and don't respond. That's not mean. That's clear. That's you taking back your identity, not the one they made for you, but the one you've built through fire, thought, and stillness. As long as you live, keep learning how to live, Seneca says. You might not have known how to say no yesterday. It's possible that you didn't say anything to keep the peace, but not today. You've learned today. Now you do something. That is Stoicism in action, not just a theory, but a change. So when they come at you with their regular lines, their anticipated theatrics, and their rehearsed accusations, don't act like the person they remember. Your quiet should confuse them. Let them be angry at your limits. Let your silence speak louder than any argument ever could. They will say, "What happened to you?" And you'll smile, not because you want to answer, but because you finally get it. You were never that character to begin with. You just forgot. They'll never let you forget again now. Number 9. Master the gray rock method. Being forgettable can be a powerful strategy. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not giving in. It is the most powerful type of psychological warfare. When someone's weapons are manipulation, drama, and provocation, the best way to fight back is to stay neutral. The gray rock method is easy to understand, but harsh. You don't give anything of worth, like anecdotes, arguments, or wounds to pick at. You become stone, not a stone of anger, not a bitter stone, just plain, smooth stone that won't shatter. Epictetus remarked, "It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it." The gray rock method doesn't mean staying away from fights. It's about not giving it food. The fire goes out as soon as you take away the fuel. The truth is that toxic individuals are addicted, not to drugs, but to power, to pandemonium. For you, your reactions are like food for them. That small bit of a lift in your voice, that little quiver of anger. You think that extended explanation demonstrates maturity, but to them, it's a good light. If you don't react, they won't need you anymore. So what does it look like in real life? They want to get you angry, point fingers at you, bait you. Things have changed. You say, They push harder. "I can't believe you would do that." You say, "Okay." They get louder, more invasive, more needy for emotional purchase. And you stay still in response, with a dry, neutral tone, with stone. In the end, they give up not because you won a fight, but because you didn't fight at all. The philosopher-emperor Marcus Aurelius went through treachery, war, and political games. But in his meditations he wrote, "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." That's the gray rock. It's not weak, upset, or quick to respond. Just there. Solid. Not impressed. This way of doing things isn't only for them, it's for you too. You get back more energy for your own intellect, tranquility, and life when you don't squander emotional energy attempting to figure out their craziness. You stop thinking too much. You cease protecting yourself. You stop flowing into every argument they turn into a fight. Instead, you are the wall that their arrows hit. They won't understand it. Make them mad. And in the end, they became bored. And that's what they want, boredom. Because boredom is how you get out. It's the easy way out. No fighting. There was no explosion. Just silence. And then gone. They'll look for the you who used to yell, cry, explain, and plead. But that version died when you decided to become a rock. Not chilly. Not mean. Okay, and what about clarity? That's the one thing that poisonous people can't handle. Number 10. Use time as a weapon. Seneca wrote in his letter on the shortness of life that people are frugal with their personal property, but they are most wasteful with the one thing they should be stingy with: time. Toxic people are experts at stealing your most valuable asset, not your money, love, or anything else, but your time. And the best way to cut off their power is not with words, but with time. Time doesn't just cure, it also keeps things apart. It makes things far away, it makes walls. When you react right away to their disruption, you make them think they still have a place in your life emotionally. But when you stop for a few hours, days, or even forever, everything changes. They send you a text, you read it, you wait. They ring you up, you can see it, you let it ring. They want your attention. You give them silence, not because you're mad, but because you've changed your priorities. That holdup, that area, that's you taking back your independence. Here is when patience turns into power. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius said, "If something outside of you is bothering you, the pain is not because of the thing itself, but because of how you see it. And you can change that at any time." Toxic people make issues seem urgent. It's a show meant to draw you back into their web. They love when things are urgent because it makes you less logical. It makes you react right away instead of think about what to do. So don't answer right away. Don't answer quickly. Don't do what they want you to do just because they want you to. Respond only when it helps you keep your peace. And sometimes that moment never happens. Let them be quiet. Let them see what happens when you are patient. The fact that you don't respond right away sends the strongest message. You are no longer the center of my universe. When you employ time as a weapon, you change the balance of power. Now they are chasing. They are worried now. Now they don't know. That pain is the same pain they used to give you every day. But you won't use time as a weapon to hurt people. Instead, you'll use it to heal, to get your mind back, to keep your area safe, to live slowly, fully, and freely without having to deal with someone else's chaos all the time. They'll be curious about why it takes you so long to answer, why you aren't there anymore, why you don't feel the need to hurry anymore. But they won't ask you directly, since they know you're done. You didn't stop them. You didn't scream. You simply stopped running toward the trap. And now, while they're quiet and angry, you are alive, not bothered, not touched, no cost. Number 11. Outgrow the room. People that are bad for you can only live in the part of you that fits in their narrow world. They freak out as soon as you start to stretch your mind, body, or spirit, because they don't know who the person is that used to embrace their disarray. And growth is your way out. Marcus Aurelius didn't go after people who were rude to him. He didn't convince them, correct them, or curse them. He just outlived their usefulness. He remarked in Meditations, "Stop arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. When you become the person they can't reach, you don't need to say anything else. You don't have to bang the door. Just get up, slowly, in a quiet way, without apology." Oxygen is growth, and poisonous people die in it. They run away from all the things that growth needs: responsibility, serenity, and clarity. You will find that when you read deeper novels, they browse shallower feeds. They get angrier when you establish limits. You work on your discipline at night while they work on their drama. But here's the twist. They'll call you changed and mean it as an insult. In reality, it's your badge of honor. You used to sit in rooms that made fun of your goals. They rolled their noses at your new goals. They made fun of your peace because they couldn't find their own. You don't owe those rooms anything. Not explanations, not visits, not memories. It's not treachery to grow out of people. It's clear. Seneca said, "Show me a man who isn't a slave. One is a slave to sex, another to money, and another to ambition. And one of the worst kinds of slavery? Staying in rooms where your spirit is getting smaller. Staying close to people who only liked you when you were sad, damaged, or confused." But what about now? You read in the early morning. You don't answer every call. You work out. You stroll without saying a word. You say no and mean it. You spend hours by yourself because your spirit is too valuable to rent out for cheap attention. And in the end, something wonderful happens. They cease reaching out. Not because you yelled at them, but because your energy no longer makes them feel good. So keep going up. Continue to build. Keep growing into that strong version of yourself. And when they try to drag you back, know that what's behind you is too tiny for who you are becoming. Number 12, don't respond, don't repost. Being misunderstood and not trying to change it is a powerful thing. We are conditioned to react in today's world. Put up a screenshot, write a short paragraph. Protect your name like it's a trophy that someone wants to take. The Stoics, on the other hand, saw through that lie. Seneca, who was exiled and slandered at the highest levels of Roman politics, never squandered his dignity on small arguments. He said, "What other people think of you is none of your business." Why? A lion doesn't have to explain itself to sheep. People that are toxic do well in the area of reactivity. They aim to get you into their theater, where every post is bait and every insult is a show. But you aren't their actor. You're not even a part of their tale anymore. As soon as you stop responding, you stop being a co-star in the drama they wrote for you. Every time you answer, even if it's to set the record straight, you give their falsehood more life. You keep their story going. And even worse, you show them that you still care about what they say, that they still have emotional power. But what if you don't say anything? When you don't even bother to respond to their nonsense? You take away the stage where they are performing. No one is clapping. No one is watching. Just a desperate whisper that is losing its meaning. Marcus Aurelius stated, "The best way to get back at someone is to not be like them." Don't act like someone who lies about you, tries to ruin your reputation, or misquotes your background. Don't go down. Get up in silence. Let your life show them they're wrong. They can't disagree with this. You're still building, still becoming bigger, still at ease. Their following might find it funny now. Their companions might take a picture of the moment. But months later, when they can't take it anymore and everything falls apart, you'll still be there. You'll still be doing well. And no one will remember how loud they were, only how quiet you were. You don't have to share their lies again to set them straight. You don't have to justify why you aren't in their toxic circle. You don't have to fight back. You should live a good life. You have to travel so far, so quickly, and so free that their words seem insignificant compared to how fast you're going. And believe me, people will ultimately see through the fog. Time shows who you are. Truth always wins. Slander may burn brightly, but it doesn't last long. And when the smoke clears, you'll be standing tall, unharmed, and calm. Let them bark. You have already left. Number 13, cut without ceremony. People who are toxic expect fireworks when you leave. They want drama. They want one last text so they can change what you said, post it, make fun of it, and start the cycle all over again. Don't hand it to them. Give them something far worse: silence and being away. Epictetus lived in a society of rulers and slaves, where being in charge was a luxury, not a guarantee. He emphasized, however, that freedom is not gained in running away, but in understanding. When someone constantly shows that they don't respect your principles, your limits, or your tranquility, there's nothing else to talk about. The truth has come out. The only thing you can do now is go. No need for closure. There's no need to fight. There's no need for one last chance, because you've already given them a lot. And every time you came back, you taught them that turmoil is like a revolving door. But now, that door is closed. Not with anger, not with getting back at someone, but with determination. People that are toxic need reactions to stay alive, but they die when people don't care. So quietly cut the wire. Stop the number. Get out of the group conversation. Stop following. Not to hurt them, but to keep you safe. And here's the most important thing. Don't look back. Don't look at their stories. Don't ask friends you both know. Don't dwell on the memories of who they used to pretend to be. That version never really happened. Now, what matters is the space you've taken back. Marcus Aurelius remarked, "The quality of your thoughts determines how happy you will be." If someone keeps polluting your mind, insulting your beliefs, and making it hard for you to think clearly, you have a sacred duty to leave them for good. Not with a bang, in silence. Picture this: no answer, no response. You just have to keep going with your life without them. You get up sooner, you smile more, you chuckle more easily. That tightening in your chest? Gone. That worry before the phone rings? No more. That never-ending overthinking? No more. This is what happens when you cut without ceremony. You stop the conflict by leaving the battlefield. You win by not fighting. And the best part? You only have to do it once. A clean break, one calm exit, a strong choice. That's all it takes to make sure they don't disturb you again. They stop when they see that their hooks don't reach anymore and that they can't pull any more rope. They can't control a ghost. They can't control a memory. They can't play chess if the board has been turned over and set on fire. So end the chapter. Not a word, not a sound, without ceremony. Go ahead. In the end, you are not responsible for poisonous people. Your calm is. And as soon as you understand that protecting your energy is not selfish but necessary, you become more powerful. One move, one clear act. One last time they won't be disturbed. Once you do it, they won't bother you again. Go forward. Be quiet. Stay strong.